And an organization that has been this good for this long, with all the consistency, the manager's the same, many of the players are the same. This was the same team that won the World Series a year ago. I just find it very hard to believe that they're going to continue to play sub-500 baseball. You just said it. Since July 3rd, they're 8 games under 500. They have one of the worst records in baseball.
Yeah.
But I just find it hard to believe that it's going to continue. At some point, I think they're going to snap out of it. I don't know how, I don't know when, and I don't know why I think
they're good enough to snap out of it, certainly,
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, man, it's not – because here's the thing. I know the bullpen has been a mess, particularly down the stretch, right? Like late in games. Like we've documented that enough, I feel like, over time. I'm not trying to, like, beat a dead horse here. But what I would say to you is this. Beyond that, and that's been big, don't get me wrong. Like, I feel like that – but that's not it every night. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is the majority of games you could probably attribute some level of the bullpen being an issue, but particularly the back end. But I feel like it's just they're in this weird stretch. Baseball is crazy that way. The ball bounces funny. Teams go through rough patches regardless of who you are, and it's just baseball. And this is the stretch they're going through, that it's just baseball. I remember it was either 2017 or 18. They had an awful September heading into the playoffs, and they still ended up in the World Series. So I'm not, like, overly concerned. There is, like, if we were doing, like, 10 is the most concerned that I am, and 1 is I'm not really concerned, I'm probably at, like, a 3 or a 4 maybe.
It's all just a 3 or a 4.
Yeah.
See, the thing
I'm not some, scaredy cat like Funchy holding his cat all scared.
I'm at 8.
Oh, at an 8.
I'm at 8.
You're at.
I mean,
so you're
that's
pushing
ridiculous.
You're pushing
there's
the
like
panic button.
There's over a month left in the season.
42
like,
games, Funch.
DEFCON 4.
No. Well, actually, it would be DEFCON 1.
Really?
It's the other way.
Okay. DEFCON
2. 1 is the highest, like the most DEFCON, like, and 4 is the lowest.
Do you guys know
the other way.
that the Padres and the Dodgers both have what are considered to be like the 29th and 30th easiest schedules, meaning their schedules, the two of these teams, down the stretch in the last 42 games for the Padres, it's now 41 games. Yeah. They're considered, both the Dodgers and the Padres, to have the easiest remaining schedule to go.
That's what's
Padres 29, Dodgers 30.
There you go.
Wow.
So
look at that.
So for when you're 12 and 20 in your last 32 and you're sub 8 games under 500 in that period of time, the schedule being easier makes me think that the Dodgers in the last 42 games will win 22 to 26, somewhere in that neighborhood. They'll play better than 500 baseball. The question is, what will the Padres do? But the most important thing is, for both of these teams right now, given where we are, is the next 6 games where they play head-to-head. 3 this weekend at Dodger Stadium, 3 next weekend down in San Diego.
Yeah, look, the good thing is they have enough in front of them with the Padres that they can make this, they can – whatever concerns people may have, they can dismiss them fairly easily. Now, if it goes the other way, obviously, then they can compound the issue. But, I feel like once they're playing the Padres, these games are going to matter. They all matter, obviously. But I think that there will be a different level of focus. There should be one now already, but it's hard. These are human beings. Over 162 games. Stuff is going to happen. Like, that's just it. And I know that that's not a great answer, and people don't want to hear that stuff, but that's reality. Like, over 162 games, you're not going to play perfect baseball.
Right, but over the course of 32 games,
you can play crappy baseball. It's very possible, even for the best teams.
Well, but it is hard to kind of really believe it that the Dodgers, as great as they were in the early part, this all started right before the All-Star break when they lost 7 straight games. And when they came out after the All-Star break, you thought maybe they'd stabilize things, and they didn't. And so much of it is what led them to the World Series last year. Remember when everybody thought they'd run out of pitching, and it was the bullpen that came to their rescue? Yeah. It's the bullpen that's destroying them right now.
Kepi, look, for all the chatter that the NFL gets about parity and this, that, and the other, and, I mean, there's some semblance of that in the regular season at times. But the NFL actually does not have a ton of parity. I mean, the Chiefs have won a ton. The Patriots won a ton. There's been a few outliers here, like the Eagles won some. The Steelers have won in between here and there a few times. There's a lot of dynasties in the NFL, okay? And the NBA, kind of the same thing until recently. We've had 7 different champions. It's kind of like, whoa, this is weird. Like, this is not the way the NBA normally works. The NHL has always had a ton of different champions. There have been some stretches in time where there have been some dynasties earlier, maybe decades and decades ago, but not the case. Cappy, there hasn't been a repeat champion in Major League Baseball in 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
The Yankees, when they won a three-peat in 98, 99, 2000. That was the last time we've had a repeat champion in Major League Baseball. So, look, as great as the Dodgers are, you can construct the best roster in the world. If your pitching goes south because of injury or you have all sorts of bad luck for one reason or another, you may or may not win the championship. Hell, you can make the case the Dodgers have had the best team in the sport for nearly a decade already, and they have 2 championships to show for it in 10 years. So it's just a tough sport. Again, I know that's not the answer everyone wants to hear, but it's possible they don't win the World Series this year.
What?
Now,
wait,
yeah,
what?
It is possible.
What? You're kidding
What?
me. No.
Yeah.
No, the Dodgers the Dodgers are easily going to win the World Series this year. No problem.
Now you're just being a jerk face.
No, come on.
I mean, I would love for the Dodgers to win the World Series again, but again, history says it ain't easy. And here's the thing. We started the season with, and we do this in every sport, right? Oh, my God. They built this monster team. This is unfair. Nobody's going to win. The Dodgers are ruining baseball. And I'll never forget, I had coffee right across the street from the studio where you're at right now, okay, at the JW Marriott with our buddy John Boogshambi, okay?
The
voice of Sunday Night. Yes, the voice of Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN Radio and the voice of the Cubs most recently the last couple years. I mean, literally that guy has forgotten more baseball than you and I will ever know combined, okay? And he said it to me. He's like, let's just see if they can run off a couple in a row before we say they ruined the baseball. Like, that was his position at the time. And I was like, yeah, it's fair. Like, I think everyone's kind of overreacting because that's what we do. And we did it. We do it in every sport. Remember, how many times have we seen, remember the Eagles? I mean, it was a long time ago, right? Oh, the dream team, right? It was when Michael Vick was there, right? And they had Vince Young as the backup, and they had this dream team. And they didn't even make the playoffs, for God's sake. When LeBron, Wade, and Bosh got together, everybody's like, oh, my God, it's so unfair. I mean, they went to 4 finals, but they only won 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, and yeah, you can make the case they could have won 3 or only 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, sports are weird that way, man.
Well,
like, we can't just anoint people anything.
And that is why, George, and we'll hit this break to tell us about Jacob. That is why a few weeks ago, the LA Times said that the Milwaukee Brewers will become America's team because they've got a low payroll. They play good fundamental baseball, and they're the anti-Dodgers.
Right.
And that's what people want. People hate the Dodgers around the country because they spend more than anybody else. And by the way, not much more than everybody else. I mean, my goodness, the Mets went out and paid Juan Soto more than what the Dodgers have paid Ohtani.
Yeah.
So anyway, tell us about Jacob and Ronnie. We'll keep things rolling.
Okay. And you might as well combine here, DeAndre, unless Chris gets